What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday. We're back at it. We're up here in 34205, one of our favorite zip codes. We're here in Bradenton. We're checking out a rental property. It's one of my partners, and it's one that he's decided he would like to sell this property, especially while the front unit is vacant. We are in search of a new tenant, but something to take note of is the back unit is about to go vacant this week as well. So there is no better time to sell a rental property in a high market, and when you have a vacancy going on, even if that's just one of two sides or just one unit out of 10 units. It's always helpful if that buyer can actually get inside, put their eyes and hands on this property and get a good feeling for it so they can submit their offer. So we are gonna throw this one on the MLS today. I showed up here just to knock out some photos, take a quick little video walkthrough so that we can push this out to our buyers list and also push it out to the MLS. As we know, multifamilies are in demand right now and are at a very high point. So if you've got a property with equity in it, or you have a multifamily you've owned for years and you're looking at getting out of the rental game, right now is a great time to sell the property. So anyways, we're gonna move on, keep the ball rolling, but just wanna bring you guys on a quick little tour of this rental property and just give you some numbers along the way. I told you we'd be right back, and we're right back at quite a doozy of a property right here. This is a property that we pumped out to our list. We put some signs out on the street. We were looking for a buyer in the $80,000 price point. We were willing to go as low as $75,000, just so you guys are aware of that. A lot of people will look at a price and think, that's the price, and they don't even put in an offer of what they would pay. They just say no. So just a little tip, if you're out there, you're having properties sent out by a wholesaler, a realtor, whoever it is, if you are attracted to a property, you feel it might be a good investment, a good opportunity to make some money, but there's no money there at the price being pitched, it doesn't mean you can't tell them where you would buy it. And I think that's a great practice, a best practice, and something that you should make sure you do. But the point of this video is just to show you guys we've gotten all the tile to just get our first rehab videos rolling on this property. This one has this tile that was throughout the entire house. You can see for the most part it's been ripped up. You can see all the wood flooring that is in here. Oh man, some worse than others. But this floor, you know, we're gonna have new decking placed on the floors. This house does have crawl space. Then they'll probably have vinyl flooring that's put down over it. Obviously, we're gonna have to make sure the floors are all level. And when you're doing that, you know, tile's not usually the best thing to put down over wood floors like this. I recommend vinyl because vinyl will at least have a little bit of flex, a little bit of bend, and it'll work better on your flooring just to make sure everything is level and smooth and flows good together to begin with. But just a little point on that, make sure when you're doing flooring, whatever type of flooring that is, if you are gonna do vinyl, you might wanna get something that's a little bit thinner if you're not gonna have perfectly flat floors, because if it's a little bit thinner and it's vinyl, it'll have a little bit of flex to it. The thicker you go with the vinyl, the less flex there will be, and the more chance you'll have of an area where there's almost like a little pocket or a gap, and when you step on it, you'll feel the flex. So that's just a quick little tip. We're gonna move on. Just wanna show you we are in the demo stage of this property. It will become a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Well, I shouldn't say become because it already is. It does have potential for a 4th, but a 4-bedroom house with 1 bathroom, that doesn't make much sense, does it? But I'm excited for us to actually rehab this one. I always like rehabbing projects that other investors or other people that call looking for a deal decide to pass on, because it's always a good learning experience for myself and for others to see what a property ended up selling for that they passed on. And it's a good way for them to reflect, look back and say, hey, were my numbers on? Were they off? So we're gonna move on because we're on today, we're not off. Let's keep it rolling. What is shaking, my real estate friends? We're here. We're at one of our rentals that is getting rehabbed right now. It is vacant. We are getting it rehabbed so that we can throw it on the retail market. The plan is not to re-rent this property. We are getting it into rehab condition. So we're doing a little bit of a half rehab, meaning that we're able to go through a property that was already livable and just sprucing it up, freshen it up, add a few little features, items to this property that are going to help increase the value. One of those items being the flooring. We're also just going to redo the kitchen, make sure the bathrooms are looking good. We are going to leave the flooring in our bedrooms right now. It was actually tile throughout this whole house, which is always a nice thing when you have a rental property. But for the bedrooms, to save a little bit of money on the flooring, we're going to keep the tile that was already in there. And we have luxury vinyl plank that's already been put in throughout the rest of this. But that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just do flooring, kitchens, paint inside and out, and then get this thing listed while we got ourselves a nice hot seller's market. But I'll give you guys a quick little tour of what we got going on right now here at our property, and then we will keep moving on. All right, so we got our kitchen cabinet sitting here in the living room. We got some 2-panel doors. This is that tile I was just telling you guys about. You can see it's a pretty common older tile. It's that manila peachy color. It is not the greatest color to clash or go with a gray. And then the other thing I would say is the bedroom colors that were picked. This light green, I don't think it's the best color when you're keeping these type of floors. I could be wrong. Green and peachy. This is an interesting setup though. You know, I don't like to talk negative about my own properties I'm gonna list because hey, we always want to be selling, but we have a half bathroom and we have a full bathroom that sit right next to each other. I do like those tiles that they picked out and they put in the bathroom there, but that's a nice looking tile. Curious if they're keeping these toilets for themselves or for the property. Let's keep moving on. That's one of those things where I can always go back, look at the bid. If it said something about redoing an entire bathroom, I would assume that we're getting everything new. So that leads me to something else. Just make sure you review your bids with your crews. One thing I would suggest, you could have yourself a nice little scope of work or checklist sheet sitting right on a wall so that there's no questions about what's being done in a property. It's also a good thing for a team lead or a contractor, somebody to do when they have a whole crew that is working with them and they might not be at the property all the time, but the crew is to make sure there's a checklist of some sort. It's not my job to tell contractors that, but in our own property, we can definitely put a list of what the items are that are supposed to be done on the property so that there are no questions or debates. So we have a lead that came in yesterday through some text messaging. I picked up the phone. I called the guy after he said he was interested in selling his property. He just had tenants move out. He is getting it rent ready again. He's already had 2 offers between the range of 150 and 162. He's telling me he would sign right now at 170, but I got to go check this property out because it's a 3-2 with a pool on a main road here in Sarasota. And I would think that property, just based on hearing that alone and knowing the area, that it's probably more like a 260 ARV property. So if that's really what the value of this property could be, and I could see that this property is going to need $40,000 or less in work, this might be a deal to grab. So let's go check it out. Hey, what's going on, everyone? We are out at a duplex up here in Bradenton. I wanted to bring you guys along and show you the same style and setup of a duplex that my partner and I just bought one street over from this one up here in Bradenton. He had one that's a replicate or a clone, we'll call it, and it's a pretty standard setup up here in Bradenton and some of the newer neighborhoods. And when I say newer, I'm talking over the 50s, you know, 60s and higher. A lot of what we do up in Bradenton is 20s and higher. So there's a lot of non-conforming or weird frame style setups that are now multifamily properties or got converted somewhere, somehow along the lines. But what we're at is a block 4-bedroom, 2-bath duplex. So break that in half. We got a 2-bedroom, 1-bath on one side. We got a 2-bedroom, 1-bath here on this side. So now what I'll do is give you guys a quick little walkthrough, just show you what these look like. They typically always had these popcorn ceilings with terrazzo flooring. As you can see, we still have the popcorn, but we've got luxury vinyl plank flooring in here right now. So I actually have 2 duplexes that are in my portfolio that have this same type of setup, where you've got the 2 bedrooms and the 1 bath on the one side backing up to the kitchen and your living room. You got your simple window there looking into the carport. We've got our guest bath, our 1 bathroom here. And that tub has actually just been recently painted. A little linen closet. And some of these duplexes, the linen closet would actually be where your air handler is. And then the rest of these, they're up in the attic typically. I know on this unit, we are in the attic. But this is a nice addition with this one. On a lot of these, this area would actually be a lanai where maybe there is some screen. And this one, you actually have your water heater, washer dryer hookups, which is really nice when you can offer the washer dryer hookups if you can't give them the actual washer dryer. All right, so that's it. That's our simple little 2-1 half of a duplex right here that's getting renovated so that a new renter can get in here and we can look for that $1,100 to $1,200 a month rent. But why am I here exactly? Yes, we're having work done, but I ran up here because I was actually here to meet some other investors that are in town. They have themselves a large portfolio out of Sarasota, and a problem with having too many properties that you're working with, they said, hey, let's go meet over at such and such street, which happened to be a number. We have 2 of those, one in Sarasota, one in Bradenton. Did not know which one they were talking about exactly. I had forgotten that we had 2 on a street with that same number. So we met at 2 different places. I had to get them to drive up here and check this one out, even though it wasn't even on their radar. Not a bad thing though when you're talking about investors with a couple $1 million at hand ready to spend, deploy into a market, especially a market they're already comfortable and familiar with. So it was still good. They ran up here. We had a great conversation. We got to walk around, myself and a couple of the investors. We were able to recently work with them on another transaction. So now that that one's done and they know how we operate, we know how they operate, we were looking to do some more business together and see if we can expand that relationship. Probably gonna wrap up the week for myself. I got a lot of editing to do. I gotta bring you guys a lot of this content we keep recording. And I hope this video had a few different edits and a few different extra features, we'll call them, that kept you guys watching and wanting more. Because that's what I'm gonna try and give you guys. Some great raw footage, real information, and at the same time, try and make it visually appealing and keep you guys hooked. Till next time though, keep buying, keep selling, and keep growing those portfolios.